And officially welcome to this amazing moment of training, or webinar, panel discussion, however you want to call it. We call it an insights and impact from the Family Center Coaching Cohort students. My name is Barbara Coto, and I have the honor to be here with some of my students from last Family Center Coaching Cohort. Uh, they were all amazing. We had a great experience. They will talk to you about it, their experiences, their learning process, the outcomes, their findings. But we wanted to take this time and share with you what they found, because I may share with you how the prosperity agenda is so committed to transform the way community agencies, nonprofits help those that we serve in a different way, from a different perspective, from the perspective of possibilities, opportunities, giving them a real chance for a huge transformation, but also the opportunity to staff to go through a process of transformation for themselves. If you have a staff that is getting benefits on their personal lives, you will definitely have a happy team, happy people, people that is creating and setting the example for the people they serve. And that's what happened. So please, next slide before we start uh, talking and I start sharing with these amazing women. I want to remind you that you are still on time to be part of our next cohort. I'm proud to say that we have an English cohort version, but we also have a new Spanish cohort version. You can learn our family center coaching mindset and the toolkit. The toolkit is something that is exposed in our website, but when you get the training, you know how to use it at another new level in a better way. And these people here that will share today got some extra things, got some extra tools. They enjoyed it, they put it to the test, and they are having results with them and their communities. So we'll talk about that. You can get that too if you register. You can go to any of those training information. You can scan the QR code, or if it's more simply to you, go to learning at theprosperityagenda.org, send us an email, send me the information, request the information, and we will do it. Now, next slide, please. This is me. My name is Barbara Coto, and this beautiful accent is from the island of Puerto Rico. My students know that I'm always joking about my accent. I sometimes get scrambled. My tongue gets crazy, wild, but they got to understand it and they had fun with it too. The thing is that I got into the prosperity agenda when I fell in love with the vision and mission of this organization. I've been coaching for almost 30 years of my life, and I've been training and coaching individuals, family, teenagers, youth, uh, ministries, community groups, all types of groups, individuals, and segments. But when I saw that we can equip people like you in organizations that are dedicated, they're committed to help others that don't necessarily have access to this information and these tools, and you can make it, it was a no-brainer to me, and I had to join uh, the mission, and here we are. So Cohort is one of my first babies. It's an upgrade and update to the first version that is powerful. It's great, but how many of you know that life and the world change and that we learn different, we have different needs, things got, let's not say complicated, but interesting and challenging. So I took all of my knowledge and everything that I know that is functional to work with the demands that you have in your workplace right now and put it there. And that's what you'll get. That's what they got. And that's why I'm here at the Prosperity Agenda. So with that being said, let's move to the next slide so you can see properly what's the Prosperity Agenda and family-centered coaching. People ask me, what is the relationship between the Prosperity Agenda? Why is that name? And what is the relationship with family-centered coaching? Well, we are the people that best train, and that's my statement, that best train about family-centered coaching in the whole wild world. But the Prosperity Agenda is dedicated to equip people like you to build prosperity of families receiving human services. We like to advance participant-centered practices at community-based agencies like the one that you represent. We view prosperity not just as financial assets. It's not about money. We sometimes translate prosperity as money, and it's about connections. It's about being in rich social connections and relationships. The power to direct one's future. We put participants and organizations on the driver's seats, and they use the power of choice constantly. The opportunities that contribute to personal and community well-being are countless, and we equip agencies to adopt those approaches that center and connect participants through learning experiences, evaluation, and a national network of partners. So during this cohort, there were people from different agencies. They became friends, they became partners, they reach out to each other, and they are collaborating since day one. It was amazing because as part of our mission in the Prosperity Agenda is to create that after the training ends. But all of a sudden, since day one, the cohort became a community of practice and a partnership between different organizations and leaders. So I'm proud to have them here. Next slide. These are the amazing people that is here with me. I cannot contain myself from bragging about them because they made most of the discussions, the serious topics. They took this very seriously, very profound, and you will hear about them. We have Rhonda, Trina, and Orlinda from Total Community Action. Shout out. They're there together. And we have Latasha Davis, Natasha Gilbert, and Parthenia Fields from Springboards to Opportunities. Now, let's take, yeah, that's my people. You see? I would like first, before that question, Carilu, thank you. Let's share their faces. Pause the screen share because I want our audience to see them. Woohoo! And thank you again for being here. I'm excited. First, I would like you to personally introduce yourself and to share your experience in a brief, because we will go through different several questions, but a brief story about your experience through Family Center Coaching Cohort. Who's the first one?
I'll go first. Hi, everyone. My name is Parthena Fields. As Barbara said, I'm with Springboard to Opportunities. I'm the manager of community programs and navigations with that organization. And just very briefly, I want to say the coaching training was a lot richer than I expected. I really didn't have a whole lot of expectations, but it was a lot richer than I expected, and it has impacted my life more than just in the organization that I work with, but just holistically, and how I approach people.
Thank you. Who else wants to share?
Hi, I'm Orlinda Robinson with Total Community Action. I'm a community service specialist And being a part of the family center coaching, the training, it was very intense. I took a lot away from being a part of it. It allowed me to do a self reflection and to evaluate myself differently, to be more of a person that I can listen and not over talk. I look at the bigger picture as far as the holistic approach when dealing with the families and dealing with my colleagues and even with partner agencies, because we do come in contact with a variety. I love the definition of a family through family coaching because it's broad. A family can be multiple of family members or even friends. So it's a plus for me. I recommend it highly.
Thank you. Thank you, Arlinda.
Okay, I'm gonna come behind Orlando. Oh,
Go ahead, go ahead. I'll come back.
okay, I'm gonna come behind Miss Orlando. So I'm Latasha Davis. I'm a community specialist with Springboard. And oh my geez, how do I narrow this? Let me see. Imagine you coming into day one of a training, you think it's gonna be pretty, cookie cutter. You like, okay, you have your set, preconceived notions, and day one you're on a roller coaster ride, right? Because instantly you at war with yourself on how you have been and what you have been doing versus what would be better approaches. So I would say, come into it with an open mind, because when you open your mind, like, you can get the most, from the experience. You can retain a lot, and it's beneficial to you personally and also professionally. I mean, I looked at family-centered coaching in a different way ahead of coming into the class, and I just didn't see, issues with my coaching style. So I just learned a lot about taking me out of the equation when I'm helping others, because it's about what they feel is best for them and their family, not what I feel, is level of importance best for them and their family. So I'll stop there.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Rhonda was going to share.
Yes, I'm Rhonda Mayberry. I'm with Total Community Action and I'm the health manager here. This has helped me in my own life. It had me to do a lot of self-reflection. I deal with my nephews, my godchildren, and I would always be the person to say, well, this is what you need to do. You need to do this, and just telling them. But they are the driver. So it helped me ask them questions just to coach them through life. Because after high school, you say do this, and this, but I didn't take that approach with them. I learned how to ask those powerful questions and let them decide what was best for them.
Wow. Amazing.
Okay, great afternoon. I am Trina Taylor, also from Total Community Action. I am a family coach navigator with our Total Family program and Total Family approach. And for me, family-centered coaching has been just an eye opener, and it really, really, from a professional standpoint and a personal standpoint, made me look at my mindset, look at my biases, things I never thought about I had, or things I never felt. I was able to look at them. There were a lot of aha moments, and our families, in using them with the families, there's been some aha moments with them. And so the aha moments for me was the best part for me. I'm like, didn't think about that, or didn't look at it that way. So it's really, really been very rewarding so far, professionally and personally.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
All right.
Natasha.
Yay, hey y'all. Natasha Gilbert here. I work for Springboard to Opportunities. I'm the project associate for our Magnolia Mothers Trust program. And similar to what everyone else has said, it has impacted me not just professionally but personally. And so going into the training, you know, like Latasha said, you didn't think it was gonna be a like, hey, look at yourself type of deal since it's family centered coaching, but it has really been very useful in my personal life to shine a light on some areas that, because sometimes you can get caught up in your job and you know when you go home you can kind of neglect yourself sometimes. So it has shined a light in some areas in my personal life, and professionally it family center coaching validated some of the things that I already was kind of implementing. And I'm very thankful for this coaching because some of the things that I've already was doing similar to what they would share. And so it was easier now to have everything in this one space versus before I was pulling from over here, pulling from over here, and pulling from over there. And family center coaching kind of touches on a lot of different areas in one place. So that's kind of what I really got from it as well.
That's amazing. Thank you for that. So I have, like I said before, a couple of questions to you based on what people ask me. But also, if you are here with us and you have questions to make to them, feel free to interrupt. Please do it. Please ask. Also, family center coaching, I mean, the Prosperity Agenda staff is here and they are very excited to have you here and they have questions for you. So please don't hesitate to stop us and make your own questions. In the meantime, you want to interrupt me and do these questions? I want to ask to any of you specifically, how has the family center coaching cohort training has influenced your approach to personal development and self-awareness, particularly in your personal case, how this training has influenced your personal development and self-awareness? Who wants to answer?
Okay,
For
so I'll go
me,
first.
you going first? Go ahead, Tasha. Go ahead.
So, me personally, I wasn't the best with boundaries. I just felt like if I didn't do it, it just couldn't be done. So, coming out of the training, my first initial thing was just to work on healthy boundaries. And it was okay, to take pauses for me, or, even when I get up in the morning, don't jump right into tasks. So when I get up, I do my affirmations, I speak life to myself, I start my day. And before I, work with residents, because I work with residents in my role mainly, I pause, I make sure I center myself, that I check my biases at the door, because certain things I always knew about myself, but I didn't have terms to kind of put with it. So when we went through, the different biases, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I need to work on this and that. So even though I'm not doing this, yeah, I'm guilty of that. So I make a conscious, um, very conscious attempt to just make sure I get me out the way and what I personally think, because you never know what each encounter really, like how that person needs your help, how they need for you to show up for them. So I'm not coming to them to just be their savior. I'm coming to assist them to be the hero, in whatever their story entails. And so that's what I got from that. I done retired my cape, y'all. It is in the closet and it is stuff on it. And I intend on, maybe I set it on fire. But I am, good with boundaries now. I am good with pausing. I am good with just taking the mental health breaks, not trying to do so much at my desk, but getting up, you know, and, trying to not be so, as Natasha said, just so engulfed with work. And it's a process, right? It's not like a 100% quick fix, but the more that you open up to the training, the more you'll take from it. Like my pieces and, the other, people who are speaking, like we all got similar things, but it's a completely different experience. But we've all been in our own way ever changed from it. So that's my spiel on that question.
Look at you. That's incredible. Thank you. Anyone wants to add anything in particular that considers important to that question? to answer that
As
question?
far as for me, Orlinda, for me, it helped me with reduce my stress level, reducing stress and learning how to prioritize with different things that's going on in my life, balance. Um, it kept me in touch with being my self-awareness, being able to go back and reflect as related to things that's going on. And today makes a year that my mother has been, that I've been without my mother. So it's the anniversary, the first year of her death, me losing my mom. And I'm grateful, and being a part of family center coaching, it keeps me in touch with my behavior, my needs, my wants, knowing the difference, what is important, what's a priority, and staying in my 90, my lane as related to boundaries, because I listen, but I'm not listening. Or I have a tendency I can over talk. So I know I have been working on that. And what I like about it, I don't have to work as hard, because being a part of family center coaching and utilizing the tools, it holds me accountable. It makes you aware and to know that you need to be accountable. You can't get past it. I love that tool, Ready to Coach checklist. That keep me in touch with my mental state. And the everyday strategies for working with families, I could utilize that, because I'm getting me ready and prepared before I make the step to working with my participants as related to guiding and coaching them with the family center coaching tools. So it's
Beautiful.
beneficial. I love it. I really, really do love it. And I love the being a part of the group that I was a part of when we went through this intense training. Love it. So
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move to the next question, or if anyone in the audience wants to make a question, feel free to let me know. Okay, so I'll do the next question. In what ways has the Family Center coaching training helped you improve your interactions and relationship with particularly your family and close friends? How, if there is any way, how the training help you in your personal life with your close relationships? We know family and friends uh, are in the list.
Okay, I'll go.
Um,
Oh, go
okay.
Partina.
No,
No, no,
you
no,
go,
you go.
Natasha, and then I'll follow you.
For those
Okay.
of you that are just meeting us, this was the whole time like this. They are
No, you
participative.
go.
I love it.
For me, the who is in my family portion of the toolkit really was helpful for me in my personal life, because like everyone said, just going through this training, each day you took a step back and reflect on, the portion that we went over that day. And so for me, for the hoods in my family, it really had me to take a step back and reevaluate, those people that I might have had in certain areas and they probably shouldn't have been in those areas, or vice versa, maybe like, how do I show up on somebody else's area? So like I have maybe two really good close friends. And so with this training of who's in my family, I learned that with those two really good close friends, not only are they, I consider them family members, but when I look at it even deeper, their family is kind of like now my family. So that's the whole extended, family type of thing. So sometimes when you're thinking about who's in my family, you kind of get caught up on that surface of immediate family, but it's more to it than that. And also at the same time, just because a person is immediate family, that doesn't, you don't necessarily have to place them as a support, if that makes sense. And so I did also learn that somebody who I considered to be a friend, that I just need to be like, not at all. So I guess it's the boundary piece as well.
Yes, and I remember that was a great breakthrough for a lot of you. So yes, that's important. Sometimes we just go into our automatic pilot, like I call it, and we put people in places and stages and levels of importance that it doesn't serve them or us. And we can reevaluate, recontemplate those positions and be more effective for them and for us. So thank you for that. Parthenia, you were going to share something about that too.
Yes. So what it has been meaningful for me in my personal relationships, and I shared this with the group that I was in. I have a son who is on the spectrum and on the autism spectrum, and sometimes it has been difficult and is difficult for us to communicate and truly understand where each of the other is coming from. And so, what I recognize through the training is that, and I've realized this before, but it was even more evident that I'm in control of how I approach the situation. And I also received some tools that would help me to communicate better with him, in that I step back and I try to take a look at what I'm saying before I say it and how it can be viewed, and reframing what I'm saying so that not only I can say what I need to say, but he can understand what I'm saying. And hopefully grasp what I'm saying. Hadn't always been successful there. However, I do appreciate having those tools in my toolkit. I can definitely say, since we completed the training and even during, I began to see a difference in our relationship and how we connect. So I'm very grateful for that piece.
I'm glad to hear that and how it helps beyond the professional side. That's important. If we're happy, the rest can be done easier, right? So let's go to the next question. I'm enjoying this so much. And it says, how has the training enhanced your ability to collaborate and communicate with your peers and colleagues within your organization? Sometimes we get trained on so many things that are just to apply with participants and our clients, but uh, this training also helps on improving our team culture, the way we interact with peers, with supervisors, with everyone around the organization. So I would like to know if you have a particular anecdote or a how you're in your experience the training has enhanced that ability to collaborate, communicate, and create teamwork.
Well, I'll go and say I don't know if this is an antidote per se, but it's what it has done for me. So what I was able to take away when it comes to working with my peers and collaborating with them is that everyone has a role. Everyone plays a role on the team. Everyone has something to bring to the team. And so we all bring something different. And when we put all of that together and we, collaborate, then in the end, the end result will be what we're all looking for, because the ultimate is that we all have the same goal and we're all trying to meet that goal, but we all bring our skills and abilities. We bring, our part in, and we all play a role. And at the end result is usually going to be successful if we all bring our little piece in. And so it has just really, really helped to be able to know that this is not a you. This is not a me, this is a we, this is an us. Everyone brings their little piece in or their skills and abilities in, and then we put it all together, and then we have a successful, we're successful in meeting our goal.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else wants to add to that?
I
I
will.
just want to say,
Oh,
I was just going to add to the communication piece as related to what Trina was saying. I like the fact that we can go back and have a one-on-one. Even if we're doing the group thing, we go back. I usually do a one-on-one to make sure I'm processing and receiving what was shared, and then I do the one-on-one to regurgitate back what was said to me to make sure when we're in that mix, we're collaborating together. And it's a visual thing, we can see it, and I like the fact that we can have the hands on because with the population that we serve and when we working with our babies, it is more or less like a hands on and it ties in together. That's all.
And you three in particular, I remember that shared how the training made you stronger together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we're just like we were just meeting you all, we've met. We work for Total Community Action, but we work in different areas. So it allowed us to bond and grow and learn something about each other and from each other. And we do have a relationship, and I think it's a good working relationship. And I think it's a step beyond just work because I told them today, after today, I have another piece of something that we have to work together. Since we were part of your training, Barbara, this intense training. So we have something that we have to do collectively together. And I said today, after we get this together and we do what we do, I'm done with you all. No, I did share that with you. But it brought us together and it's a meaningful relationship, and it's like a personal, I'm speaking on for myself and how I feel about the relationship that we've shared and what we have. I can't say they feel the same way, but this is how I feel. I put it out there for them.
We do, and she's not allowed to be done with us, just for the record.
But that's incredible. Different departments, different journeys, and how a shared experience brought you to closer together. That's amazing. Parthenia wanted to share something, and I think Latasha.
Oh, no, that's Patina.
For me, just briefly, I want to say that it is helping me to create a culture of input and feedback. Just by default, I am a doer, and I take things and I start doing them, and I expect that other people will do the same and just kind of catch it and let's roll with it. Where now I'm learning to take a step back. And even if I start doing, I still try to dial myself back to get some input and feedback from my team or from those that I'm working with.
Wow. That's incredible.
I like that, Patina. I like that.
I like that, but it's like your sense of urgency may not be the same as my sense of urgency, and you're able to identify that with self and knowing how to get around that or work past that. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I like that.
Yes. Anybody else before we move to the next question?
Okay,
Natasha.
I just wanted to, just add a little bit to what Parthenia is saying in that I'm okay if sometimes I see a 6 and somebody else see a 9. I don't have to necessarily. I felt kind of what's the right word? Comfortable with the whole idea. I don't have to exactly see things 100% how my fellow coworkers do, and that it doesn't make it any less valid with certain things because all of those pieces, like what they were saying, it comes together and you can still get something from it, even if it's not initially what you per se planned it. And it's not to have all of I don't 100% agree with what somebody else does, So for me, I think that was the biggest thing. Like, it's okay if we can look at something and we get different things from it. So, yeah.
Agree to disagree. that was a topic, and we learned, everybody learned about that topic. So it was great. Next question will be, what were some of the biggest challenges, if any, that you faced during training, and how did you overcome it? Were there any big challenges for you? This is the moment of
Myself,
honesty. Come on, truth.
myself, I was my biggest challenge, because like I said, day one, I think I said that, because we did a few breakouts. So I wouldn't, first of all, I wasn't mentally prepared getting up there early to go right into breakout rooms, right? Like, why I gotta tell my business? In my mind, that's how. But once I opened up and I got out my own way, and actually I saw why the breakout rooms were important in bouncing the different information out. Like, I got more and more comfortable with everyone, so I met people from different places, and we had similar experiences. So I guess for me it was confirmation of sorts, and in other cases not so much. But the more I took accountability and actually, got and participated, the more I wanted to. I was just like, yeah, I was ready. So yeah.
We saw that. We saw that transformation.
I was just gonna say I agree with Latasha. I think the biggest challenge is overcoming yourself, what you are so used to, doing. Example would be like when I was working with a particular resident, I'm so used to, just readily popping off ideas or different stuff like that. And so I would have to, it'd be like a mental battle inside, like, you trying to tell the person what to do, and it's supposed to be a collaborative thing. You're supposed to ask open-ended questions. So that kind of was the biggest challenge, just an internal conflict to bring forth the new things that we've learned, which are really, positive and more beneficial at the end of the day, because me doing something for the person or actually telling them what to do kind of sometimes can be a hindrance. Yeah, I'll just end it right there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Um, so let's go to the next one. Before we move on, is there anything that shifted in your personal life? I know that your work have changed and your family had an impact, and internally you saw the difference in your communication and interactions with others. But is there any personal significant or profound transformation, uh, those aha moments that Trina mentioned, anything in particular that you would say uh, other people should have the experience to go through this, to find this? Go ahead, Trina.
So I will start by saying that everybody should go through this, if nothing else, to be able to learn the difference between help and support. You can't do it for them. You have to support them through it. And for us in this social services field, we feel like we are the doers. We are the, we have to, we're going to make it happen for you. And in all honesty, what we learned, and what you will learn if you go through this, is that you can help. You have to support them through it. You can't do it for them, because they have to, they have to be as vested as you are. And so, and in order for them to do it, you can only support them. You just cannot do it for them. So help versus support was one of the many aha moments I got, that you cannot do it for them, Trina. Stop in your personal life, in your professional life. with your participants, with your family, with your church members, with everybody you come in contact with. You can't do it for them. You've got to support them through it. So if nothing else, get into it for that.
Drop the mic. That was beautiful. Anyone else wants to share?
So I wanted
I
to.
would say that
You all have, I know.
Oh, them too.
You know,
Them too. Every time.
I was just gonna say, going back, because at the end of the day, we know the participants that we serve, and they are the driver. We have to put them in that seat, and which would allow us to guide and coach them. Because, like Trina said, we are the fixer. At that, we think we are the fixer, because when you're doing case management, and we do this all across the board, everyone is doing this, and that's why it's crucial and important to me to implement the FCC, because of the simple fact it's allowing us to let them do the work. And like I said, when they are doing the work, it's less stress for me. I can fall back and keep my mental state in check, and they're doing the work. They see that they're doing the work, because we have families that come in, lack resources, or even if we speak on behalf of the education system, some do not know how to read or write. So when they're bringing that family, that's why I said parenting, or who is a part of the family, is a broad definition, because they have an older child, have to play that role to assist the parent with the materials, other information, the reading part, and that mother still has that control over her household, because she is the lead, but she has to rely on that support from that child, and that child may have to wear other hats or many hats, because at the end of the day, we only know what's in that household because of them bringing what they bring to the table. So I love that it's going to keep us aware, make us be accountable for our actions, because I'm big on accountability in my area where I work, because I believe in holding people accountable, and sometimes people don't want to be held accountable, and that's why I would totally push for the FCC, because these tools, all that information, those forms, it's a big help for me. I don't have to work as hard, and I don't have to go
we have a lot of role playings and reflections, and we found out that you became a great artist, right, in the role playing. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Natasha, you were going to say something too, right?
Yes, I love the empathy section, right? I enjoyed that. But let me tell you, so I was like, okay, I'm cool. I can rest. My head ain't hurting. And then we got to a section. I'm gonna tell you how much listen, I keep this in my office, but this is for me personally, and I'm gonna frame it. But I had to hold myself accountable personally and say it's okay to have all the empathy in the world for folks. But I can't do it at my demise. If I'm not, charged up, ready to give it, I don't have it to give. So I have this printed out because I have to remind myself. I'm gonna read it out because the bottom line is, it's not my job to fix people, save people, chase people, change people, make them happy, prove them wrong, control how they feel, agree with everything they say, or control anyone's perception of me. So, I mean, I don't need to offer my help if they didn't ask for it. Yeah. So I keep this in my mind so that I can try my best to balance myself out until I get where I need to be with it, because it's a work in progress. You done had these learned behaviors so many years, some can argue to take just that many years to get rid of them, but I'm actively doing the work. So I would
Let
definitely
the
say,
church say amen, Natasha.
don't keep it on your desk at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, let me tell you, how they say, it'll work if you work it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I got a few family members mad, but that's okay. In another couple of weeks, they gonna understand. It's just a transition, but yeah.
And they're going to
Awesome.
feel so much better when they do it themselves. They're going to feel so much better.
Absolutely.
Continue to support them, though.
And that's the power of just one slide.
Hey, I want to chime in on the question in the chat
Yes.
box. It says, this work can really burn good people out and create either high turnover or low job satisfaction. How do you think this training and approach might change that experience in human services? To me, when I read it, I automatically thought about two different things. So one thing being this training touches on stages of change and readiness assessment. I feel that is going to be an extremely important component that will help you when it comes to job burnout and different things like that, because like we just was mentioning just then of wanting, trying to do things for people or letting them do it on their own. When you do this readiness assessment, or try to figure out where they are on that spectrum for the stages of change, that'll help you with your burnout, because once you determine, okay, this is where this person is when it comes to the stage of change, like just determining are they ready or not. That whole assessment will help calm down on some of that burnout, because once you see, oh, okay, this person really not ready, that should be a way for you to one, calm down, internally on your own. Because now I know, all right, this person not really ready for that. I can calm myself down. We can maybe go on to something else or talk about this, or just figure out what needs to be done to get this person to be ready. And my second response would be, this curriculum really helps you in, I love that it's balanced out. So not just talking about, like I said earlier, just being centered on the families that you provide services to, but the whole component of making you kind of look at yourself as well. Because once you take the time to kind of look at yourself and realize how you might usually react or respond to certain things, or even the checklist of how is your space set up for getting ready to work with these people. Do you need 15 minutes of quiet time after working with a person? So I feel like the family center coaching will really kind of help ease some of that burnout. We know burnout is gonna come, because it's just a part of, life when you're working, and you can't just really vacation and be on somebody's beach all the time. But it'll really slow it down. And I
Wow.
see Parthena said something she wanted to touch on what she said.
Thank you for that, Natasha. That
I
was so
can add a
important.
little bit to the answer to answer that question. This approach gives you the tools, the strategies. Yes. It gives you, the tools and strategies that you need to balance. Yeah. And so it helps to balance. And so though you may have, though yes, in this line of work we do get burnout, but when you have such a balance like this approach gives you, you have the tools and strategies that you need, and so it helps to balance you very well so that you won't get burned out. So it really is that start to, to really help the burnout to not come as quickly or as easily as it would, ordinarily. So it really is a good strategies, good approach that you can use to not get to burnout.
And you utilize the tools, like Natasha said, and that was the first two tools I mentioned that I like. Um, Ready to coach checklist and everyday strategies for working with families. If you definitely look at that one, it tells you a comfortable, safe place, space, the physical environment. Take time before you're meeting with the participant. Build on the participant street. It dictates and tell you everything. So if you utilizing FCC, you cannot go wrong. You're gonna protect your space, your mental health, because being a social worker, and we want to fix and do everything, and you cannot. I love it. I don't want to say it's scripted, but if you comply with your tools and utilize them, it's a plus. You cannot go wrong. You cannot.
Thank you for that. And I want to add, as the facilitator and as a coach, that in nonprofits and in the type of service that we all provide, we all have similar common needs. This topic on burnout, feeling overwhelmed, feeling exhausted, and working over our biases, our emotions is a constant. But there was no place where you can find the how. I know it's there. How do I deal with this? So when we did all this whole upgrade to family center coaching training, what we added is, from a coaching perspective, how can you be served so you can serve better? How can a person that is exhausted give their 100%? How can a person that is dealing with their own emotions, their own limiting beliefs, can work with their beliefs? They're coming probably in crisis or facing terrible challenges. And if you don't know, if you're not equipped on how to deal with yourself, what can you do? So that was particularly my intention on doing these changes in training, so you can feel better. You don't have to feel that you're carrying all these people's lives, because it's heavy on ourselves. Imagine if you put everyone in your back and start trying to walk. That's not the thing. I need you to be healthy, to feel fine, to shine, to feel that you're accomplishing your mission and your vision, your purpose in life, so you can share and exchange some opportunities, possibilities to others. So I feel so happy that you saw it and that you're using. Some trainings bring excellent materials, but you put them to the side and you don't use the toolkits. And as I hear, you're using your papers, you're going through them, you know where they're at, you're printing the slides, you have them as a checkup list on yourself. That is incredible. So let's go to the next question. This is going better than I thought. Can you describe a specific skill? Let's talk about skills or insight from FCC cohort training that has been particularly valuable in your role as a coach or participant.
I can answer that one.
Go ahead.
My thing is those powerful questions, and in my role, I have to make sure that the kids have healthy meals, appropriate meals, to see if they're allergic to any foods. And so we do a modified menu. But what I realized, I was saying, is your child allergic to any foods? Just I was checking a box. But that's not my job. My job is to help that family. So when I ask more powerful questions like, what does your child like to eat? What does your grocery list look like? It it allows them to elaborate, and I get so much more information. Are they buying healthy snacks? Do they have the resources? Do I need to refer them to our food pantry? It just gives me so much more information with those powerful questions.
Thank you. Wow. Those questions have transformed. I'm proud of you.
We learned that from you, Barbara. We got that from you, Barbara. You gave us
Those
that.
are my students, huh?
That's right. That's right.
So for me, I would say the first thing was asking permission, because it seemed like a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like a no-brainer. But you get so familiar, with certain people that you encounter, you just go right into help mode, and you ain't asked them if they was even comfortable or any of that. So I would say definitely, asking permission before I even delve into things, because they might or might don't want to discuss it. So I would say that, and then also, as the ladies mentioned, the stages of change. And that kind of helped me a little bit more with burnout as well, because once I ask those powerful questions, right, I'm able to get what I need from that to see where they are. And then I'm doing reflective listening to see kind of how I can help
I look at you.
How I can help them. Yeah, and then depending on the family, right? That's where the toolkit comes from. Like these, at the end of the day, all these are just tools, right? It's on how you choose to apply them that works for you. So I like that it can be customized how you need. For some families, I might have to go, jump into like the goal setup. And some, I need to start with who's in your family. And I'll say this, because I keep saying it'll work if you work it. What I felt was powerful, if I'm not just speaking for everyone, hopefully when I say this, but as we actually work through, some of these tools, like I got a big, revelation myself from the who's in your family. And that's what really put me in position to start creating those boundaries. So I feel that it's good for you guys to go through some of the tools in the, toolkit, whether you discussing it or you improving like how we did, and Orlando did that every time. Every time. But like once you actually go through it, I feel like it put me in a place to where I was relatable to those families, based upon the powerful questions to kind of see which tool will work for them. Then I'm able to kind of help them build on whatever they're trying to do. Because it's not about what I want for them, right? I can look at a family and feel like, okay, I see the mama, maybe need daycare and, this, that, and that, but that might not be where her concern is at. So once I kind of go off of where they lean with that and I assist them with that, then I'm looking in that toolkit for what's going to be applicable for their situation. And just depending on how open they are to doing it, then go from there. So, I mean, it can be easy. It's all depending on, you and how much of it that you take in. It doesn't have to be overwhelming or draining. At the end of the day, it's all tools to help you balance it. That's how I look at it.
Thank you. Wow. I'm speechless.
Well, I have a real life situation, I guess, because I worked with a family since the training ended, and we did the who is in my family. And I used that tool because just of conversations that we had had, and because mom just didn't necessarily get that her village, if you will, or her support system was truly her family. She didn't really get that. And I went, oops, yep, I'm going to use that. And so going through that exercise, she didn't realize that the godfather, who is her pastor at church, the child's godfather was truly a part of her family, because that person picks the child up when she can't. That person buys pull-ups for the child when she can't. That person does a lot for the child and really, really is a support where wherever she falls, that person is there for her. But she just saw this person as, oh, that's her godfather. That's just her godfather. And that's, and so, but when we did the exercise of who is in my family, she realized, oh, yeah, so really and then when she had to prioritize the family, she said, oh, he's kind of way up there, because where she had other people up there just because they were like her mom, but her mom is a support, but she's the support that she can be, but not as much of the support as the godfather. And so it really, really was a true, eye-opening for the mom to see, oh, so these people really are my family, although they're not blood family, they're not,
Blood
blood
related.
related. So
thank you for
it
that.
worked. Yeah.
Natasha, you were going to share something.
Yeah, I just gonna say it's just going back to the training about how you said the whole model is kind of like fluid. It's not necessarily you use this first, you use this second. And really truly all of it really is powerful at the end of the day, because I'm just thinking about the role that I'm in. Like I said, I work with moms, and so this was my first year in this position, and goal setting is an actual component. And so for me, I've just kind of looked at and took stuff away of what I'm gonna do differently for when the next cohort comes around. Because this cohort, when it started out, I just basically was like, I just sent out an email and I was like, hey, who's interested in goal setting? If you have interest, let me know. And no real assessment, no real nothing. So I got some feedback saying, oh, I don't know what goal I want to aim for. And I was like, okay, well, we can talk about it. And then we go to talk about it. It was like, well, I don't know. And so that's when these kind of tools can kind of come in place, and especially the wheel of life, when you're looking at all those different areas, that'll kind of help people see, okay, well, maybe I need to aim for a goal over here in this area. And if that's what they feel, then like just all of it kind of just basically connects. All of it is very powerful at the end of the day, especially when it comes to, setting goals and seeing families be prosperous.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Now I want to open up a space for anyone in the audience that would like to make a question. Please open up your microphone and go ahead.
I want to ask Natasha a question only because of what she just stated. Natasha, you were put in a new role, or you say you were doing something new, right? The position you have, Natasha.
I'm listening.
That's what you did say, right? No, it was the position you doing. This was your first time doing what you're doing now.
Yes.
You said with the moms. So with the tools and the material that you receive, it's a plus, and I'm sure you enjoy and like what you're going to be doing. Not saying that you didn't, but like you said, it was something new that you were doing. So the resources is a big plus for you, then, right?
Yes.
So okay.
Great.
Well, I wish you luck with it, and hopefully, since you got your materials, you got something to work with. And
well, I've been in this position since March of last year, but like I was saying, when I first started, I didn't have this training. So I'm just saying, with this training now, I have revamped how I'm going to go forth with the next cohort.
Yes, that's all. Well, I wish you luck with it, and not to say that you didn't. You enjoy it now more. I'm not saying you didn't, but I'm just saying since you got.
It's kind of like I said earlier, it was some things that I already was doing. Like example, I was pulling out so I have my master's in public health. So I was pulling out like the dimensions of wellness and going over that with the parents. And if you're not familiar with it, it's very similar to the wheel of life when it talks about like the different components of, your life. And so I'd be like making sure you're addressing things in this area. And so like this training would now stop me from going over here pulling for the dimensions of wellness, from going over here pulling up everything is here in this one space in your one toolkit.
Okay. So you'll be working, not working hard, working smart.
But working smarter.
That's what I'm saying. Not that you are not, but you got the tools. Like you say, you don't have to go all, yeah.
All right. So is there anybody else in the audience that would like to make questions to any of these amazing women? Like in training, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's okay. It's from the audience. I'm asking people that is new to you if they would like to make any question. I know that there's people from TPA here. This is the moment to ask to this dream team. Any question? All right. So before we go, let's move. I made that question. Move on. Next. So before we move on close to ending this session, I will still want to insist that you should be in our next cohort. If you would like to have an experience as the one that they just shared, this is the way. We have English cohort this July and a Spanish cohort in August. Please scan the QR code or send an email to learning@theprosperityagenda.org for more information on how you can get trained on mindset and toolkit for family-centered coaching. On our next slide is the invitation to our next webinar. It's called De-Escalation Strategies for Family-Centered Coaching. You can scan the QR code. This one is free. It's a free webinar. It's our monthly free webinar. So I hope you join me on this new topic where we take goals and challenges from big chunks to small bite pieces. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be very interesting, and it will become possibly a tool for you, for your participants, and for everything that you need to organize structure for effectiveness. It's Thursday, August 15 at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Time like today. And next slide is that we want your feedback. Everybody, including this amazing panelist, should scan this QR code and send us your feedback. How did you like, enjoy, and get valuable information from this today's session? We want to know, we want to improve, we want to do things that serve you. So please scan that QR code and give us your feedback. It's very important to us. And with that being said, officially, I want to thank all of you, all of our panelists, our students for giving life to family-centered coaching. Don't worry, I'll send it to you. If you didn't have time, you will have it through email. Thank you for that. I want to say thank you. I cannot be more grateful for your commitment to all the heart and the passion you put through that training and the contribution you are for all your communities, your people through this magnificent tool. We expect you to be close to us, so you know that you will be our superstar now. You will be over social media, YouTube, and people will be sharing this video, so get ready. And last but not least important, is not a requirement to be beautiful to be a student here. So they're all beautiful and we're not sorry. It happens. Thank you all for being here, for attending, for being so nice, and for sharing how we do our work with so much love. With that being said, if you have anything else to say to close this session, this is the
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
It was nice seeing you all your lovely faces.
Likewise. Likewise.
bye-bye. Have a great day.
It was a pleasure.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Barbara.